Hello and good evening and welcome to this live broadcast. Tonight I'm going to be teaching how to edit, sharing some of the different tips and tricks that I use when I'm editing. It's going to be fun, it's going to be fire. We were supposed to have this live yesterday, but I still needed to just get something really right, and I believe today I have done that. So wherever you are watching me from, please, if you are in this thing of videography, maybe you are an editor, you want to learn some tricks of editing, because today I'm gonna take the whole clip, teach you about editing, different things that you need to be aware of when you are editing, as well as editing a whole video from beginning to the end. I'm just gonna pick a random video, one of the clips from my previous project, edit that clip. You will see exactly what I do whenever I'm editing and stuff like that. Then we're gonna go through different stuff. You're gonna have an opportunity to ask questions along the way. It's going to be a lot of fun. I promise you guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. You're gonna learn a lot of stuff. All right. So I'm gonna take you through the project schedule right now before we waste a lot of time. Let me just Okay, so this is our project program schedule. Around this time, around 1940, we're going to talk about softwares, and then computer specs around 1945, and then video properties around 1953. So this is sort of like the schedule through which we're going to go through today's program. And then around 2010, we're gonna do the editing. We're gonna edit the video from beginning to the end, and then we're gonna do some color correction from 2040 and color grading from 2050. All right, so that is our program schedule for today. And then I think last on the project, I'm gonna talk about our new updates for the workshops that are coming up. And then we're gonna also talk about the giveaway. Today I'm giving away a few making gear. If you know me, you know I do giveaways. And then we're gonna talk about the next masterclass around 9:20, and then 9:30, this broadcast will be over. So that is more like our project schedule for today. Share the video, share wherever you're watching me from, share. And I'm not even gonna announce the criteria of what I'm gonna give away, but I have some nicer thing that I'm gonna give today. Just stay tuned. All right, so we're just waiting for time to be 1940 so that we can start to talk about let me just double check, and we want to start to talk about the softwares for video editing. All right, let me also take this opportunity to greet some people who are watching me. Aubrey Visuals is watching from Kempton Park. Please let me know if there is something that is lacking in terms of sound. Just let me know. All right, so Kundamanda is watching, ready on my work desk. Thank you so much for joining. I can see Fidel as well is watching from Centurion. Chris Vince is also watching from Sharif Hossein from Bangladesh is also catching us live. And then I can see Cyrus Chat, I don't know if it's Chate or Chat, you know, he's also watching. Mr. Unify film classmate Joss Violet as well is watching. I can see Mike Major, Michael is also watching. Oh, thanks on I'm live stream the video transmitter for me, please. Perfect. I can see Kelvin as well is watching. I can see I'm watching from Cape Town. This is Maulidi Wilson. Watching from Cape Town. All is good. Thank you. I guess we can start with the first topic, which is what is the best software for video editing? I get these questions. I get asked this question quite a bit by my students. A lot of people actually ask, not just students, but even those who are in social media, who are trying to, create videos with their phones, and they are looking for a best software for editing. They always ask me. Now, on a professional level, right? Let me start from the professional level in terms of what you need to understand in order for you to determine which one will be the best software for you for editing, right? You need to understand first what is video editing, right? So don't just be in a habit to say, oh, okay, we know video editing is just editing a video and then sending it, but you have to understand first what is video editing. So in the simplest terms, video editing is simply the cutting of clips, mixing those clips together to create a story in simpler terms, and then adding titles, effects, as well as mixing sound. So basically that is video editing, just cutting clips, mixing them together to create a story, and then add effects, add sound, add text. That is video editing, right? So now that you know what video editing is, then you can look at different types of programs that you can choose from, because these softwares, they're different in so many ways, right? Some software can do other things better than others. Some softwares can be installed in other computers, while they cannot be installed in other computers, like Final Cut. You can install it only in Mac computers, but you can't install it in Windows. So when you're looking for a software, which one is the best software for editing, you have to first understand what kind of video editing are you doing. Are you doing a video editing which just involves you cutting the clips, mixing them together without adding effects? Because there are softwares that can do that, which are lighter. Or are you like Mr. Wise, like myself, who clients will just come to me and say, hey, we want this, we know you can do it. So you need to sort of like get a software that can do everything at once. So you have to understand first, what kind of video editing are you trying to do, right? Sometimes you might, when people talk about, oh, video editing and stuff, it's not really like you have to do, I'm gonna show you now, it's not really like you have to do intensive editing and stuff. Sometimes you just really need to cut clips, remove bad clips, join the good clips together and just save that video. That is still video editing. So we have different types of softwares. Let me just show you some of the softwares that you can choose from when it comes to video editing. I just hope I have them here prepared. So you can ask questions. Before I jump to the next topic, because today I don't want to waste time. We are doing something massive. So I just want to explain these things so that at least you understand them, Okay, so let's look at some of the softwares, best softwares that you can pick up today for video editing. All right, so these are the best softwares that I put together that you can use for video editing. We have DaVinci Resolve, we have Apple iMovie, we have Apple Final Cut, we have Adobe Premiere Elements, we have Movavi, Pinnacle, Adobe Premiere Pro, Wondershare, Cyberlink, ClipArt, and so on. And believe you me, there are so many softwares for video editing. There are so many. So these are the ones that you can look at a professional level. But which one do I recommend? Now, I'm gonna select a software. The software that I normally use, the reasons why I selected it, is a software that can do anything that a client would want from me. If they want me to add effects, I can do it. If they want me to do color grading, I can do it in that software. If whatever that the client asks me, I can do it in that software, and that software is Adobe Premiere Pro, all right? The reason I was using Final Cut before, Final Cut is much faster than even Adobe Premiere Pro, rendering times and stuff like that, but Final Cut can only be installed in Mac computers, but cannot be installed in Windows. That is the drawback. And also, DaVinci Resolve actually is a free software. Yeah, it's a free software. It is good. These days, I saw a lot of people migrating from Adobe Premiere Pro using DaVinci Resolve. It's a good software also for editing, but I think it's a little bit heavy, you know. I'm going to talk about computers for editing and see why I don't use DaVinci Resolve. By the way, I've been using DaVinci Resolve in 2016. 2017, I was using DaVinci Resolve to edit because I was using Blackmagic cameras then. So when I switched to these mirrorless GH5s, GH5, I migrated back to Adobe Premiere Pro because it can handle those codecs better. We're going to talk about codecs. So if you guys are having questions before I go to the next topic, let's see what you have. Let's see what you have. Is it necessary to add effects on every video? It is not necessary. I'm going to talk about video. When we start editing, I'm going to share some tricks because I think this is another myth when it comes to editing. You know, editing a video is very easy because it doesn't just really happen in the computer with the software. All the editing happens before you even dump your footage. You have to know what kind of story are you trying to tell? What kind of video are you filming? So if there will be need for effects in that video, then you can add effects. But if there will be no need, then there is no need. So those things, you have to plan them before you even actually start editing your video. So it's not necessary to put effects on every video, but there are videos like music videos, right? Those music videos are flashy, entertaining kind of stuff. So you need to add here and there a bit of effects and stuff like that. But there are other videos like interviews. Why would you add certain effects on just interviews, just people talking? You know, so it depends what kind of video you are trying to edit, and that I cannot emphasize that more than anything. You need to know your story before you even open the computer. You need to know what you are trying to edit, where is it going, what kind of story are you trying to do. That will be even easier when you start editing because you already know what you are doing, so you are just using the software to help you achieve that. Okay. Another one is asking, Matema Bosch is asking, what is the best software that you can use for Windows? The best software that even myself I use, the one that we're going to use today, I recommend Adobe Premiere Pro. It's lighter, guys. It's lighter, especially if you go to the previous versions, like Adobe 2017, 2018, 2019, you can literally install it on any computer as long as you have the installer package. So I recommend Adobe Premiere Pro because it is a professional software, by the way. It has been used to edit bigger movies. Why I like Adobe Premiere Pro is I always do my color grading there. There's a panel there, Lumetri color. I'm going to show you now when we do color grading. There's Lumetri color there. It is very, very nice. Very, very, very nice for color grading as well. So I do everything in one program. And one thing that I love about it is you can connect it to Photoshop. You can connect it to After Effects. You know, this Adobe suite is very nice because you can work on something in Premiere Pro, but you are in After Effects, right? You are in After Effects, you can work something in Premiere Pro. So I like Adobe Premiere Pro. If you are a beginner editor and you are looking for a nicer software to edit on, I recommend Adobe Premiere Pro. And if you don't know Adobe Premiere Pro, I have a course, a detailed course. Let me just show you. I have a detailed course on editing, right? Whatever that I'm teaching here is already in the course, but even more detailed because today I'm just trying to rush a little bit with time. Okay, so if, let me just show you my computer. All right, so if I go to, all right, so I have this amazing course on editing. It will teach you everything about Adobe Premiere Pro from beginning to the end, every button, and you're gonna see some of those things today when we do our edit, right? So let's go to the next item. What should I look for in the latest Adobe Premiere Pro? I don't think there's anything that you need to look for. I don't think there's anything to look for. It depends, like I explained, what are the specific needs to your films, to your videos. What are you trying to add to your videos? Because softwares do not really come, they don't edit. It is a person. You know, me, I started editing way back in 2006, and we were using those VHS, those big cassette VHS. So we had those VCR, VCR1, VCR2, VCR3, and we would put the master tape on VCR1, and then the 3 other tapes is the one that you are using for editing, because I already know what I'm trying to create. So don't just wait to go to the software first before you actually even figure out what you want to put out there. Even people who do movies, they write a script, detailed script, all the effects that they're gonna use, whatever that they're gonna do, the text, all those things are written before you open your software. So when you open your software, it's just you really using the tools within that software to achieve your film, to achieve your look. All right, so what if I'm currently using an old version of Premiere Pro 2018 because of using smaller specs of a laptop? What is your view? Can editing still be done perfectly? There are times that I even use very small programs like Filmora, sometimes Wondershare, right? Because editing, like I keep emphasizing, it doesn't really happen in the software. It happens on your planning. You have to plan your edit. So there are also times when we start looking at computer specs here, I'm gonna talk about that in a moment. There are also times when I use even Adobe 2014, you know, CC, the first one, the first CC 2014. It can still happen because Adobe doesn't actually change a lot of things. Starting from 2017, when they introduced Lumetri panel, everything has been the same until 2023. Just a few things that you don't actually really need. So it depends what kind of computer you have, which I'm going to look at in the next topic. It depends what kind of computer you have, if it is able to handle the latest Adobe Premiere Pro, or you can use the earlier versions. So editing, all the tools from 2014, in fact, as far as I can remember, from 2003, Adobe 2003, which I started editing from, the tools are still similar. There are just some few things that have been added here and there in the latest version, so you can still do it. All right. What price of online course for video editing? The prices, if you go to ufc.unifyinventive.net, let me just open it on my computer here so that you can see it. So guys, keep asking. So this is the online class courses that I have. You can see I have a lot. Let me just zoom in a bit so that you can see nicely. So these are the classes that are available now. So there's one for video, for shooting. There's video editing. Then there is color grading. And then down here, there's music videos if you want to learn how to do music videos, and all the prices are here. It's on promotion. This week, they are going to original price. There's wedding videography, and there's also live streaming. So these are the courses, and all the prices are there. You can just go to ufc.unifyinventive.net. That's where you're going to find all those things. All right. So let's go through the next. I'm here though, I'm a little bit late. Oh, Mr. Daniel Butipule can't connect. Oh my God, why? But you're gonna come and watch the rebroadcast. So after you determine what software you are going to use, right? I see these people already, someone who wants to edit, the first thing they do is to buy a computer. That is a mistake. You have to actually know first what program are you going to use, what kind of programs are you going to use in that computer. So with myself, before I even buy a computer for video editing, I have to know first what software am I going to use in that computer. Will my computer meet the requirements of that program that I'm trying to install in that computer? So as a video editor, as a beginner video editor, as someone who wants to start to get into video editing, before you rush to buy a computer, you have to know what kind of programs are you going to use in that computer? Because a lot of people now, they bought computers and then they are trying to install certain programs and they are not installing because their computer does not meet the requirements of those programs. Now that we have determined what software you're going to use for editing, I don't know which style of editing you wish to do, but for myself, I do everything in editing. Maybe for you, you just want to be doing social media show reels and stuff like that. It is for you, right? So maybe you might not need Adobe Premiere Pro, but you can just get maybe Filmora or anything that is lighter, something that is easier. But even Adobe Premiere Pro is easy. I'm going to show you now. So it is up to you what kind of videos you are trying to create, right? If you are trying to be like what I do, Adobe Premiere Pro is my best choice. So let's go to the computer requirements. What kind of computer do you need for video editing? What are the specs? So if you are into video editing as a beginner, let me see if I have something here. Oh yeah, I have. All right, so if you are into video editing, you want to get into video editing, these are the computer requirements that I recommend, right? For a processor, if you have a computer that has i5 or i7, those are good for a start, but I recommend i7 or i9 for higher ends. But if you are just beginner, even i5 or i7 can work. But if you really don't really get to i5, even i3 can work. I'll show you how to make it work. Then in terms of the processor size, at least 2.4 gigahertz is good with 4 cores, right? Because Adobe utilizes the processor so much. So 4 cores, it's like 2.4, but there are 4 processors, right, that are doing those processes. But for me, I normally use 8 cores, and the one that is live streaming in the background is using 12 cores. So the one that I'm going to be editing from now, this laptop that I have here, it is having 8 cores. It's a 2.6 gigahertz i7 processor, so it can work. And then when it comes to RAM 8 GB for a beginner. If you want to start really editing serious videos, I recommend at least 8 GB of RAM. But if you have some budget, 16 GB, which is the one that I'm going to be editing from today, it is also recommended. But if you do like really so much intensive editing, because sometimes the program can use memory really so quick, you can go to 32 GB. And then make sure you buy a computer that has got some graphics memory. So in terms of graphics card, I recommend at the very least to get a computer that has got a 2 GB graphics card. And then if you have some budget, 4 GB or 6 GB like the one that I'm using in the background. But the computer that I'm going to be using for editing today, the specs that it has, it is just an i7. Let me just show you the specs, because I can actually project this computer here so that you can see the specs. Let me just remove. All right, so if I go to, let me just zoom in a little bit so that you can see. If I just click here, go to properties, you can see the specs that this computer is having. It is an i7 4th generation 2.5 gigahertz processor, and it has got 16 GB memory. Okay, so in terms of let me just zoom out there. In terms of the no, I'm doing something wrong. Okay, let's go to, in terms of the processors that it has, let me just zoom in there again so that you can see. So this is the computer that I'm going to be editing from today. All right, so you should check these processors. You can see it has how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 processors, 2.5 each. But if you have only 4 here, that is still fine. Okay, and then in terms of video memory, any computer that you're going to use for video editing, guys, you need to have some sort of video memory. So in terms of video memory, we're going to go to the display settings. I'm going to zoom in actually so that you can see. We're going to go to advanced display settings, and then you can see it has 2 gigabytes of memory. Let me zoom in even more. It has got 2 gigabytes memory, available memory. It has got this. So it's not really like a high spec'd up computer, but I'm gonna use it for editing anyways, right? So if you have questions with regards to computers and softwares, ask before I show you the video properties, before we go to the video properties. All right, what was the specs of your computer when you first started video editing? The first one that I started with in 2008, actually, it was a dual core. It was not really like, it didn't even have, it was a Pentium 2. I started with a Pentium 2. It was very slow. It could take a week to render just a 3 minutes video. And then my father bought a Pentium 4, those desktop computers. I think I even have a picture somewhere. I'm going to share it after this live. You'll see my first studio. So I was using a dual-core Pentium 2. That's where Pentium 4 actually. That's where I started editing from. It had a graphics card, nothing. It was having like 128 megabytes graphics memory, and then it has 512 megabytes RAM. It had 40 GB, not even 40. I think that time we were using floppy disks as well. So it was having like 13 GB of space, because I remember I was using that camcorder. So that is the first computer I started editing on. Does apply for Mac computer as well? Yes, when it comes to the specs, yes, it also applies to Mac computers as well. All right. So guys, share the video if you have questions. Now we are getting into a very sensitive topic now, that is video properties. We are about to start editing. Now, this one you have to brace yourself, because if as a video editor, you don't really get this topic that we're going to talk about next, trust me, you're going to land into so many errors. All right, so it is very important that the next topic you pay attention. So let's talk about video properties. Now that you know which software to use, you know what computer specs to use, let's talk about video properties, right? I think I'm going to have to do part 2 of this video, because what I'm going to explain today is just the beginning, but very important. If you are a beginner videographer, if you are a beginner, you are not even a videographer, but maybe you want to start your own YouTube channel, you want to start editing so that your videos can look different than others, you need to know what video properties, right, of the videos you are working with. So let's look at video properties. Let me even, let me do this. That one, I'm even gonna leave it, let me just create a lower third so that you can actually see the video properties, because they are very important. If you have any questions, just ask. It looks like I can't even see what I'm looking for, but it's okay. Okay, I wanted to create a lower third, but we can continue. So let's jump to the next topic, which is video properties. So what are video properties? So as a person who edits video, you need to know what are the properties of a digital video. So the most important video properties, I'm clicking the wrong buttons. Okay, so the most important video properties that you must know before you even take that video into your editing software, you need to know the resolution of the video. All right, so in what resolution was your video shot in? As a video editor, you need to know that property because it will help you to create even the correct sequence and also the correct output, right? So you need to know the resolution in which that video was shot in. So video resolution, it is just the size of the video in terms of width and height, right? So video resolution is just the size of the video. It's just the dimensions of the video, right? So sometimes it can be half HD, which is 1280 by 720, or 1920 by 1080, which is full HD. Sometimes it can be 4K, 4096 by 2160, or Ultra HD, which they also call 4K, which is 3840 by 2160. So you need to know in what format, in what resolution was your video shot. Was it shot in 4K? Was it shot in HD? Was it shot in half HD? As a video editor, you need to know what that is. And then the most important part that you must know, some of the video properties that you must know is the frame rate of the video. The frame rate. As a video editor, or if you're gonna start editing videos, at least you need to know what frame rate of the video it was shot in. Right, was it shot at 24 frames per second, 25 frames per second? Was it shot at 30 frames per second, or 29.976? Was it shot at 48 frames per second, 50 frames, 60 frames? So what is frame rate? Frame rate is the number of still images that is being played per second, right? So videos is made out of pictures, right? If, for some of us, we started early, the projector, we used to show videos with a projector, with a rim. So in that rim, there was pictures. So videos, actually, when you are watching a video, what you are watching is just pictures that are being played in a sequence. So sometimes it can be played at 24 frames in 1 second, sometimes 30 frames in 1 second, sometimes 60 frames in 1 second. That's what we call frame rate. So if you see 24 frames per second, it means it's the frame rate in which that video was shot. So you need to know the frame rate. And I'm going to explain a lot about frame rate because I've seen a lot of people making such mistakes when they are doing videography, when they are editing their videos, because they don't understand frame rate. All right. So here, all right, so let's say, for example, the video was shot at 24 frames per second, right? And why is it important? That's why I want to explain. So frame rate, they've got different looks when it comes to the video. There's 23.976 for cinema, right? That is the frame rate in which they shoot those videos. Then there's 24 frames per second, which is like a standard cinema. If I am talking like this, right, you are watching this video right now in 30 frames per second because I'm doing broadcasts. I want the video not to have so much blur, right? So much blur. So I want it to be just crisp. But if you crank your frame rate, if the video is shot at 23.976 or 24 frames per second, it has got some level of motion blur to it, which is natural to the human eye. That's why the film industry shoot their videos in that frame rate. Because in reality, when you wave your hand in front of yourself, you'll see that your hand is not clear. It has got some blur to it, So that is the frame rate in which they shoot the movies. But for broadcasting studios, mostly they broadcast their videos in 25 frames per second because it doesn't have that much motion blur. The video is just clean, right? Now, for broadcasts like this, many people they actually ask me to say, why does your videos look so clear when we watch them on Facebook? Because I shoot my videos at 30 frames per second in order for the videos to be really just smooth, right? Because I'm not really like doing anything film here. I'm just here talking, right? But if you're gonna shoot some videos and put them in slow motion, right? If your edit includes at some point you play around with slow motion, as you will see when I start editing, then you need to shoot, your videos needs to have a higher frame rate, like 50 frames per second or 60 frames per second. So what if your video was shot at 24 frames per second, but you make it slow? This is what will happen. Let me just show you. I'm just gonna switch on to the computer right here. If you shoot at wrong frame rate, your slow motion video, you see how the slow motion video will play. It's not gonna play smoothly, it's gonna look jittery and stuff, you know? So make sure, this video was shot at 24 frames per second and I slowed it in post. Look at how not smooth it is. But for a video that was shot at a higher frame rate, right? Let's say, for example, this video was shot at 60 frames per second, right? I don't know, maybe, no, this one. I think my computer is failing to play the videos smoothly. Let's try this one. I think the computer also, these frames are high bitrate, right? So if your video is shot at a smaller frame rate, like for example, let me play this video maybe. All right, this is 24 frames per second, but everything that I shot in slow motion, you can see, this was shot at 60 frames per second because there is smooth in the slow motion. So anything that you're gonna slow down in post, make sure you shoot at a higher frame rate. You see, this one is 24 frames per second, this one is 60 frames per second. You can see the slow motion, right? So make sure you know in which frame rate was your video shot. It is very important because it will determine how smooth the slow motion is going to be. Some people I have seen, like someone shot the video at a lower frame rate and then they went to slow it in post and then the video doesn't look professional. It looks like the person who's working on this video is an amateur. So that is another property that you must understand. And then the last property that I want you to understand is codec. You know, codec and bitrate. You know, codec is simply the number of the number of data that is being played per second. That is codec. The number of video data that is being played per second. That is codec. So sometimes you find that your video was shot at a higher codec, at a higher bitrate, or a lossless codec, like at the highest quality. When you get that video and play it in the computer is failing to handle it. That's why this video is playing like this. Let me show you. You see this video, it was shot at a higher codec. No wonder it is playing like skipping. So this is going to be very difficult for you to edit a video like this because the computer is failing to handle the data that is being processed in this computer. So sometimes it is not necessarily that your computer is slow. Sometimes maybe the video was shot just at a higher codec. That's why it is not playing properly, or that's why maybe the editing isn't happening. So if you land into this kind of a situation, where the video is just playing like this, this is going to be difficult for you to edit, mind you, because the processor can't handle. So this is where you need to create what we call proxies. Proxies are converted video files that you use in place of the original file. I'm going to show you how to create proxies when we start editing, but you have to understand exactly in what codec and compression that your video was shot at, right? It is very important. So you need to know, at least there are many. In fact, let me just explain the last property, which is picture styles. You also have to know what kind of picture style was being used in your video. Was it a flat picture style? Was it a standard picture style? Was it a vivid picture style? You know, picture styles is a settings in your camera that allows you to adjust the the tone of the video in terms of the sharpness, the vibrance of the video, the contrast of the video, you know, that is a setting in your camera, those picture styles. So each and every camera has got presets. So if you are given a video to edit, or if you want to edit your video, at least you need to understand in what picture style was it shot and in what color depth, because these picture styles also go with color depth, right? There are flat picture style, like, let me just switch back to the computer. Okay, let me take out that video. You see, if I go to this video, right? I shot this video in a flat picture style. You can see it doesn't have a lot of color information because it was a flat picture style. I wanted to edit this video. So once this video was edited, I wanted to color grade this video afterwards, right? So after the video is color graded, now it looks like this. Oh, not like this. Not like this, not like this. After it is color graded, it looks like this, right? So, but then the video was initially shot in a flat picture style because I wanted to color grade it. But if your video was shot in a standard picture style, for example, this one, I shot this video in a standard picture style. You know, you can see there is already some level of coloring to the video, right? When I play it, you can see there's a level of some coloring to the video. So even color grading this video, it's easier because there was already like some sort of color information. This is the video when it was color graded, right? So as an editor, you need also to understand what picture style was being used in that video, because it will determine the level of color grading you're gonna do. And you also have to know in what color depth. Was it shot in 8-bit or was it shot in 10-bit? You know, 10-bit carry a lot of color information, like there's over 1 billion colors in 10-bit video. But if it was shot in 8-bit, it only has about 16 million colors. So color grading, it is not that, you're not gonna have a lot of room for color grading. So whenever I shoot something that I want to color grade, the picture style also plays a very important role. So if I shoot, let's say, a music video and I want to color grade that music video to a certain color style that I know it's gonna give me some problems if I don't use flat style, then I choose to use a flat picture style and color grade it later. But there are times where, depending on the look that I want, on the color grade that I'm gonna put, that's why these things are planned before you even go and shoot, planned before you even start editing. So before I actually even like shoot, I plan what kind of look do they want for this video. If I see, oh, we want a natural looking video, then I'm just gonna use a natural or a standard picture style. So you have to understand picture style. Let me look at your questions. Then we start to edit. There's a video that we're gonna edit from beginning to the end. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, how can you shoot in flat image with Canon 5D Mark II? Canon 5D Mark II, it doesn't have that capability of recording in flat picture style like S-Log or V-Log, you know. So 5D Mark II is mainly a photo camera actually. But you can actually go into the picture style in the custom settings and lower the contrast all the way to 0 and also lower the saturation all the way to 0 so that you can actually get some sort of flat image. But also the 5D Mark II shoots in 8-bit, so even if it had flat picture style capability, as long as it shoots in 8-bit, it will still give you problems even if you shot in flat. So it's always best you just adjust, you go to custom picture style and adjust those levels remove the saturation all the way, remove the contrast all the way, so that your image is flat for you to do some sort of color grading around it. All right, so Mr. Zifozenkozi, oh, I'm sorry to pronounce your name that way. You are explaining so well. Thank you so much. So what picture style would you recommend for an amateur? As you are starting, I would recommend that you start with standard picture style, because they sort of have some color information already. In color grading or color correction, you're just going to change here and there. But if you want to shoot in flat picture style, you also have to understand color grading. And when talking about color grading, guys, among my online classes, color grading is the best selling course. What I did to that course, it is injustice. Injustice. Just check it out on my website, guys. Let me just show you. So I have this class here for color grading. This class, it is packed with information. Any person who has bought this class, they came out with a testimony. Now it is selling at $24 only. So this is my best selling class. Let me just open it to show you what is included. Hey, what's up guys? Son Pedro here, and welcome to my color grading Pro Max class in... Okay, let me just mute the sound. So this color grading class, it is packed. If you want to know color grading, how to work with flat picture style, how to work with standard picture style and still achieve like these kind of gradings, just get this course. This course, I did injustice to this course. I went on my way, but today you're gonna see some of other stuff that I was teaching in that course. Really beautiful course. So if you really want to understand color grading, picture styles, and what you need to know, preparation for shootings and stuff, that is the course you need to get. But throughout these videos as well, I'm gonna be explaining here and there so that at least you get the concept of the things that I'm talking about. All right, so let's go to the next question. Which software are you using? When it comes for video editing, I use Adobe Premiere Pro. It is the best. I edit in there, I mix sound in there, I master sound in there. I also do my special effects in there. I also do my color grading in there. Adobe Premiere Pro is the best. All right. And which camera brand do you recommend for video shoots? So when it comes to cameras, get another course. Get another course that I did. I have explained everything to do with DSLR film making, right? So there is this course also, guys. I did injustice, right? So this person is asking which camera brand do you recommend? So when it comes to cameras, cameras do not make videos. You know, maybe I started videography when there wasn't even DSLR cameras. We struggled a lot. So for me, I don't really mind what camera am I using. Camera to me, it is not that important because the story is with me. The person who creates a story is not the camera, it is with the person. Sometimes I shoot videos with my phone only, and I create very beautiful videos. You just have to be intentional in the stuff that you create. So when it comes to camera brand, there is no camera that has it all. There is no camera that has it all. And every camera, as long as it has a lens, it can work. Even those, like this 700D, actually this 700D, I'm giving it away in the next live that I'm gonna have. I'm gonna give the instruction. Like, whatever camera you have, even this 700D, I have like GH2 there. I have like those small cameras, they still work, right? Why am I saying so? It goes with the design or the story you are trying to tell. For example, you are shooting a music video, and in that music video, there's a scene that you want to depict as if it happened in a long time ago. In a long time ago when these advanced cameras were not there. For you to use a latest camera to shoot something that happened a long time ago is gonna take away from your story. So the best is to use that same old camera that they were using in that time to shoot that picture, to shoot that story, and put it in your video and combine it with the latest so that your story can move. Someone was thinking about his life 50 years back. Then that life, instead of you to use the latest camera, use the old camera. So when it comes to cameras, it depends what story are you trying to tell. Any camera can work. There is no brand that has it all, but I'm going to give you some, because I have almost all the brands of the camera, I've been using it. So if you are into photography and videography at the same time, I would recommend for you to get Sony cameras, right? If you are into photography more, I would recommend you to get Canon cameras. They've got faster autofocus and stuff like that, and they have, you know, like the skin color for Canon cameras, they have got the best skin color among all the cameras. But when it comes to Sony, Sony is just way behind Canon camera when it comes to skin tone, colors and stuff like that. But Sony also is very good in low light. You know, whenever I'm shooting videos in low light, I use Sony cameras. If I'm shooting something like it is just an interview, like I want everything to look natural, I lean more towards Canon cameras. If I'm just a photographer, I go for Nikon cameras. Nikon cameras, they really take good photographs. But they can also do videos. I'm just giving preferences. All these cameras, they can do everything good. But if you are much more into photography, Nikon. If you want to do video and you want one camera for video and pictures, I would recommend Sony. If you are too much into photography, I would recommend Canon, but it can also do video. But if you are a video nerd, if you are a filmmaker like myself, right? If you are just so much into video, I recommend cameras like Lumix, GH4, GH2, GH3, cameras like Fujifilm, because the video texture, you know, most people actually ask me to say, what camera were you using to shoot this video? It looks like the video textures among these cameras is different. So for me, I like, if I'm doing a video, it should look like it is a video, not like something which was shot with a digital stuff, right? So I recently did, let me show you. You can make exceptions, but each and every camera has got its pros and cons. There is no camera that does it all. The only difference is in the filmmaker himself, right? So recently, not even recently, like 3 days ago, I was filming a highlight video for this organization. Let me just show it to you. And you should guess what camera did I use there. I did this behind this this video. For Trop 16 Yoba.
And then the Ellis Vandama said, darling, welcome to the second annual Top 16 Youth-Owned Brands Awards, brought to you by Standard Bank. I am your blue carpet host. That means I'll be interviewing some of your favorite brands. That was nice. Okay, so that was just a little edit that I did,
and I use the Lumix GH5. So the Lumix GH5, it's poor when it comes to low light, but if you understand camera, any camera can work. I can use any camera and it will work. So let's get into video editing. So today, we're gonna be editing a video, right? If you still have questions, I'm gonna look at those questions in a moment, but let's get serious now. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my computer. This is Nomza Mombata, Mother Nandi in the latest Shakas video. Very nice. And by the way, I have worked with almost every celebrity in South Africa. Everyone, I've worked with them. So that's why you can see I'm even having confidence to teach about these things, because I understand them to some level, you know. You cannot understand everything, but at least what I understand, I share. All right, so we're gonna edit a video. We're gonna go in this folder. So this was a project. I think this was a hair project. They wanted to advertise their hair product.
Just keep that.
So this is the video that we're gonna edit. So we're gonna edit one of the videos from here, right? So when you look at this video, what picture style do you think I used? I'm just trying to look at which clip are we gonna use. If you look at this video, what picture style do you think was used on these videos? I want to teach you some techniques in editing. All right, the camera that I used here was the Lumix GH5, but in what picture style do you think I used? Right. All right. So, like I said, let me just close it a little bit. The program that I'm using for editing is Adobe Premiere Pro. So I'm just gonna open Adobe Premiere Pro, and it has got some errors because I don't actually use this laptop to edit actually. So here the errors, it says system compatibility issues. So the Adobe which is here does not support the graphics card that I have. But what I'll do here is I'll just ignore the errors and let the project open. All right, so when the project opens, what I'll do, I'll create a new project, and let me just zoom here so that you can see what I'm writing. I'm gonna name this project. This is what happens with Adobe Premiere Pro, right? So the moment you open it, you have to name the project. So I'm gonna name this one Master Class Live, right? And then you have to choose in which folder are you gonna save that project. So I'm just gonna save it in my document in Adobe, and then I'm gonna say select folder. And then from here, I don't do much, no settings that I do here. I just like to change from this DV to HDV, and then I'm gonna click OK. Then the project will open, right? So when the project has opened, you see a number of things. If this is your first time to open Adobe Premiere Pro, don't get overwhelmed. These are just there for specific reasons. I don't even use half of the things here because the tools that I use are just simple. So let me just go back there again. And then we have the source monitor here. We have the program monitor here. This is where your timeline is going to be. And this is your project window. This is where you import programs, import your clips, right? So in order for us to edit, I'll go and look for the clips that I want to edit, right? So they are in my documents. I think let me just zoom so that you can see properly, right? Reels. So I'm back to these reels, again. I'm gonna edit for which lady? Let me check, maybe this one. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna edit. Let me pick her. So I'm gonna pick all the clips where she appears, because it was Instagram Reels that was happening. Each and every model was to post an Instagram Reel advertising the hair product. So I edited these videos. I haven't even like edited them, but I'm gonna edit them individually. Right. So I'm gonna select every place where she appears because I want to edit her clips. Where else? All right. To import project into Adobe Premiere Pro, it is very easy. You can go to this file here. You can go to, just click file in the top right corner there, and then come to where it says import. And then you look for your videos, maybe in my documents, mine they're here. So I'll choose the videos that I want to import from here, right? The other method, let me just cancel. The other method of importing videos in Adobe Premiere Pro is just coming in this window here, in this project window, right? I'll just right click and then import. Let me just zoom in there. Okay, this project window, just right click, then import. Then it will also take me to which folder I saved my videos, and I can import, right? But the method that I use 70% of the time, I just go like I have done, look for the clips that I want to edit, select all of them, then just drag and drop them in the project window like this. Then those clips will import. So you can see nothing really. These are the clips in this. This is where your project, the project Masterclass Live, that's the project we created. This is where your clips comes, right? If you are very new, I'm just trying to accommodate everybody. I know already most of you, you know. You are very new, this is where your projects comes, your videos come, right? And then, in order for you to start editing, you need to create a sequence, right? To create a sequence, you just click on this button down here. Let me just zoom there. Down here, oh, come on. Okay. Down here, you see these buttons here, and it says new item, and then you can go to create sequence, right? We'll click in there. Then the sequence settings window is gonna show up. You have presets here that are available, right? So you can choose, maybe you are using Arri Alexa camera, you can choose which camera you are using. So for me, I was using a DSLR camera, so I'm gonna go to digital SLR. So I'm gonna go to DSLR. And now, why I was saying you need to know what resolution your video was shot in is because when you are creating a sequence now, you have to select which resolution do you want to edit your video, right? So my videos, let me just log out from here first. Let me leave this thing like this. Let me just show you something. So all my videos, if you want to know what properties your videos have, right? You just go to that video, because now maybe you are just given these clips, you don't even know what video properties were used. You are just an editor, right? For you to know which properties are contained in that video is very simple. Let me just show you. You just right click on the video itself and then go to where it says media information. Sometimes it can say property. So media information, it will bring all the information about that video. So the thing that you want to look for here, let me just zoom it even more so that you can see. The thing that you want to look for here is the bitrate, right? Bitrate, it was 144 megabytes. and then the format in which it was shot, it was in MPEG 4, and then the specific ones that I'm looking for, they are down here. If you go down here, you see all the properties of the video. Frame rate is here. You can see these videos, I shot them in 50 frames per second because it is Instagram Reels that I also wanted to include some sort of slow motion. And then I shot this video color depth in 8-bit, right? And then the resolution of the video, which is height and width, you can see width here, it's 3840, which is Ultra HD. Some people call it 4K as well, which is 3840 by 2160. And the display aspect ratio is 16 to 9. So you have to know at least which frame rate it was shot in, which is this one. And you have to know at least which resolution it was shot in, which is this resolution right here. And then at least you have to know the bitrate that it was shot with, which is 143 megabytes per second. Right. So once you know those properties, then we can go back to creating our sequence in Adobe. Let me just zoom this part again. So you can see I want to edit to create a timeline, which is I'm going to use the preset for DSLR. But if you come to these properties, you can see here it's 1080. So this is HD 24 frames per second, HD 25 frames per second, HD 30 frames per second. So since this video, I'm going to take it to Instagram. I want to edit using 25 frames per second. So I'm going to select that preset, and then, which resolution do I want? Because this video was shot in 4K, in 3840 by 2160. So which resolution do I want? Do I want to use the same 4K, or do I want to use another resolution? So these videos were going for social media, right? I know even if I posted a 4K video on social media will still compress that video because it will carry a lot of data. So anything that I'm doing currently that is going for social media like Instagram and Facebook, where these videos were going, I always edit those clips in HD. Even if they were shot in 8K, I'll still create a timeline which is HD, and then I will downscale the video to fit in HD. So in this case, I'm gonna select this 25 frames per second HD, right? And that is the preset that I'm gonna use for this video. But if you wanna do 4K video, you can go to settings, and then you can put the preset here, which is DSLR, and then you can put the frame rate here, in which frame rate you want to edit your video in. Me, I'm gonna select 25 frames per second, which is here. And then the frame size, you can put here, if you wanted 4K, which is like 4096 by 2160, you can put here and click OK. But in this case, this video is going for social media, so I'm gonna make it HD, which is 1920 by 1080. And then I'm gonna go down here, sequence name, I'm gonna say model number 1, right? Because there are like 12 models. And then I'm gonna click OK once I'm done. Right, so after that, you can see now we have a timeline here which has been created. So this is where the editing happens in this timeline, right? Let me just zoom so that you can see. This is where the editing happens. This is where you piece all your clips together. And then if I go back to the project window here, and I want to start editing now, right? What I normally do is to double click on this, on the clips first. I'll double click on it, and then it will open in this source monitor here. I wanted to explain something about this source monitor here. So this source monitor, this is where you preview a clip before you select. This is where you can trim, take out the clips that you don't want. So if I play this video by pressing space on your keyboard. Okay, cool. You can see like there's a lot of errors already, right? So there are some stuff that I need to remove, like you can see here, there's people here. So if I play the clip, you can see she's still fixing herself.
Okay.
So I cannot put that one in the edit. Okay, so maybe I'm moving back with the arrow keys on the keyboard, going backward and forward. So if I go backward, I go forward, right? So maybe I want to cut a clip where she's raising a hand like this. I'll set a mark in here. Let's play. Pause it and create another mark here, which means I can only use this part which I have marked in and marked out. So if I zoom out and take this video in the main program like that, it will ask me here, this is very important message, this clip does not match the sequence settings. Change sequence settings to match the clip settings. So it is asking like this because we shot this video in 4K, but the timeline that we have created, it is in HD. So the clip is not matching the sequence. So if you don't know what you are doing, just say change settings to match the sequence. But if myself, because I know what I'm doing, I'm just gonna say keep existing settings. So I'm gonna do it that way. As you can see, the clip, the timeline is in HD, but the clip is 4K, so it looks like zoomed in, right? So I'm just gonna press plus on the keyboard. You can see the clip is becoming bigger so that I can know exactly what to do. And then let me just zoom in a little bit, right? So you can see like the clip is zoomed in because it was shot in 4K, but the timeline is HD. So I'm gonna scale it so that it can fit in my HD timeline. To do that, I'm gonna select the clip on the timeline, then go up here where it says Effects Control, and then Motion, right? Let me just zoom out so that you can see what I'm doing both sides. And then where it says Scale, then I can reduce this number until I can see the clip fits my sequence, right? So it was in 4K, like it was zoomed in. Now I'm trying to make it fit my timeline. So I'm gonna make it 50, right? So you can see now it is fitting in my timeline. See, that is the clip. Right. Now, the computer that I'm using to edit, it is not a bigger computer. So these clips were shot in 4K at 50 frames per second, which means I'm gonna have a hard time to edit this video. At some point, it's gonna start playing like slow motion and stuff like that, which is not really pleasant, especially for what I'm planning to do. So if your computer is smaller, like in my case now, and the videos are too big, what you need to use for editing, for your working to be faster, is to use proxies. Like I explained before, proxies are converted video files that you use in place of the original file for editing, so that your editing can become faster. After you have finished editing, then you reconnect those converted video files back to, you reconnect those converted video files to the original files and export the original file. So to create proxies in Adobe Premiere Pro, it is very easy. So let's go back to the software itself. And then to create proxies, as you can see, all right, the clips might start playing when I hit play. These ones, they're playing okay because my computer is slightly faster is slightly faster. But in the long run, as I start to populate the timeline with different cuts, I know it's going to start playing slowly. So what I usually do is to go to the timeline here, right, to the project window, to the project window. Let me just zoom the project window so that you can see what I'm doing here. To the project window, then press Ctrl A to select all the clips, and then right click, then go to where it says proxies, and then create proxies, right? Though I'll create proxies, and then a proxy settings window will open. So in the format, I'm gonna make it H264, and then the proxy resolution, this is where you can select how small you want your videos to be, right? So mine, I'm gonna just select high resolution proxy. It's fine, but if your computer is too small, you can select low resolution proxy. All right, so I'm gonna select that proxy, right? And then here on the destination, next to original media in the proxy folder, or you can select where you want those proxies to go, right? So for me, all the proxies, I always want them to be in a different folder, right? That I know where those proxies are. So I'm gonna change it from next to original to the folder that I'm gonna select. So I'm gonna put it to the custom folder and go to browse, where I want to save those proxies, right? So I'm gonna select my document, and I'm gonna create a folder here, and I'm gonna name it model 1 proxies, right? And then I'm gonna select that folder and then click select folder, right? Then I have set my proxies will go in that folder, and then I'll click OK. So the moment you click OK, Adobe Media Encoder, make sure you also have it open. It will open automatically. Make sure it is also installed in your computer. It will open automatically, and it will start ingesting those clips, right? It will start adding those clips to Adobe Media Encoder, and Adobe Media Encoder will start converting those clips, right? It will start converting those clips. As you can see, it has already started converting those clips. At this point, you can just wait for it to finish. You can just wait for it to finish. After those clips have been converted and they are finished, you will see your computer will be able to play those videos smoothly. Your editing is not gonna have problems. So looking at time, this is going to take us a lot of time. So I think we need to come and finish the video tomorrow. So let's leave the computer now to convert all the proxies, and then tomorrow we're gonna start from editing to just show you how I mix clips with the sound and everything. So at least today we have done the first part. I didn't even know that I was gonna take that long to just explain those things, but those things are so important for video editing. So now I'm going to leave this thing to convert all the clips until it is done. Depending on how really small your computer is, it can take like a really long time. So let's leave them for now, and let's answer your questions. All right, so if you have any questions at this hour, please ask, because I can see time is gone. As it is converting, let's handle some other things. Good work, sir. I salute you always. Thank you so much, Mr. Makugwe. Thank you so much, Mr. Makungwa. Thank you very much. Thanks, boss. And very easy to follow. I'm learning. This is Ndrovu. Thank you so much. This is nice. I like this. This is so encouraging. ladies and gentlemen. This one is saying, even offense say, I have worked with Casper Nyovest. Let me just show you. Let me just show you the real. I've worked with literally everybody, aka Casper Nyovest, Kuli Chana, all the celebrities you can think of in South Africa. I have worked with them. Anomza Mombata, whoever, I've worked with most of them, right? So it has been a lot of fun. It has been a lot of fun working on these programs and projects, you know, and there's a lot of money in videography, guys, a lot of money, you know, like just these show reels, that this video that I'm converting, I shot that project under 2 hours, but I got paid like 25,000. And then just recently, Top 16 Awards, they subcontracted me to go and shoot their video. They paid me like a really good amount of money, you know. So in these live sessions, today we have done part 1. Tomorrow we're just gonna start from editing so that you can see exactly how I edit, mix everything together, color grade, color correction. I don't want to keep people for a long time. I can see time is really, really gone. Electricity will be gone also. We're still having problem with electricity, you know. So another one is asking, do you have a separate course on sound design? The sound design is also included in Adobe Premiere Pro course, in video editing Premiere. So everything is there. Inside there, there's actually a topic that I dedicated on how to clean your voice, how to mix sound, how to do sound design. There is in that course. So it's really packed, that course. You'll find them there. And then KK Visual says, best teacher, thank you so much. So when you start photography course, maybe we're gonna start next year, because now I am back. Starting from next week, maybe I'll be doing 3 lives every week, 3 live teaching, as well as preparing for our workshops that are coming in September. So all those people who wanted to attend my workshops, you know, they are coming in September. So you can start registering now. We postponed them from May to September because of so many things that we still needed to put in place. So the workshop is going to happen in different parts of Zambia and South Africa, as well as, by God's grace, maybe even Zimbabwe and Tanzania, and Zimbabwe and Botswana, right? So these are the new dates for our upcoming course workshop. So in Dola, Zambia, in September, we are going to be there on the 8th and 9th, and Lusaka, we're going to be there on the 15th and 16th, and then Livingstone on the 22nd and 23rd, and then Mongo on the 29th and 30th. Then in Pretoria, South Africa, it's going to be in October 6 and 7, right? So if you want to attend one of my workshops where I teach from how to shoot, how to edit, all this stuff that I explained here in smaller quantity, there we're gonna have like a whole 2 days, intensive training. Computers, cameras will be there, and the best part is I always do giveaways in those workshops. So in these workshops that are coming, I'm giving away a laptop, I'm giving away video lights, I'm giving away 10 laptops, 20 video lights, I'm giving away 10 hard drives, and so many other stuff that we are still checking. So all this stuff, every workshop that I'm doing, and I'm also giving away free digital products. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel or liked the page, please do, because I always post those updates on these pages. So in those workshops, I normally give away to the students. Even in this masterclass that I'm doing now, I'm gonna give away this monitor. Let me just pick it. I don't know why it is so far. Right, so at the end of this masterclass, I'm gonna give away this portable monitor. So you know, when you are editing, I always need like a second monitor, like what you are seeing in the background. You see? I have a dual monitor setup. So when I'm traveling, I can't carry those monitors along. Sometimes when I'm traveling, I'm just carrying my laptop with me. So the monitors that I normally use for editing, because today I'm teaching about editing, I have to give something that is in relation to editing. I normally use this portable monitor. So this one is the Asus portable monitor. It costs around 4,000 rands, and I'm giving it away after this masterclass. I'm giving it away. So this monitor, you just use a USB cable here and connect it to your laptop. Then you have another second monitor. So this is what I'm going to be giving away. I don't know who will be the lucky winner, but these things, I have like 4 of these ones. This one has been in the studio. I don't even use it. It is still new. It is still very, very, very new. I haven't used this. Only that when I bought them from Mauritius, I just like bought all of them at once just in case they break, but this one I haven't been using it. So any gear that I don't use and I know someone is needing it out there, I usually do giveaways. Even the people who buy my course, you should ask. Last time I gave away a drone Phantom 4, I gave away video lights, I gave away stabilizers, I gave away a drone, another drone in Zambia at the workshop, I gave away cameras, I normally do these giveaways anytime I'm teaching, because I know after teaching this whole topic, this monitor is going to be helpful to somebody, you know. So in my next, let me just take the dates out. Oh, let me just take the dates out. If you guys having questions, you can let me know. So in my next live streaming, after this masterclass for video editing, which we're gonna finish, I'm gonna announce when I'm gonna come live on Saturday. Actually, Saturday evening, we're gonna come and finish this masterclass that we have started. All right. After this masterclass, we're gonna do another masterclass for live streaming. How I do my live streaming. What kind of computers do I use for live streaming? Everything that is in this studio, I'm gonna do a masterclass for live streaming. By the way, I do live streaming for the city of Johannesburg and many government programs that I do live streaming for. Live streaming is one good way that you can make money right now. So I'm gonna do a masterclass for live streaming, like 2 hours straight. And in that masterclass, I'm gonna give away capture cards. Like I'm gonna give away 4 of these capture cards, right? Because it is related to live streaming. So because I have a course for live streaming that is not yet out, but it's finished. So because I'm gonna be teaching the same things that I end up going in the course, the next masterclass for live streaming is gonna be a paid masterclass. Right? It's going to happen on Tuesday, and you're going to pay 200 to attend that masterclass. But this one, we're going to do it free. But for the live masterclass, I want to share with you how to do live streaming for organizations like City of Johannesburg, where I normally do, where to get clients, how to do live streaming for your church programs, how to do live streaming for teaching programs, like how am I teaching, showing you straight from the computer same time, and also I'm able to hear the sound, but I'm not able to hear myself. I'm even using these headphones. They are connected to the computer. All the other stuff that I'm doing, how am I controlling this live stream alone? What other stuff do I use in the live streaming? What do you need to know about live streaming? And all the graphics and all the other stuff that is important for live streaming. I'm going to have that masterclass on Tuesday. And you're going to be live. Everybody who is going to attend, attendance will be 200 rand. 200, because that is information that we're going to sell, right? I'm going to teach. That's why I've been promising people that I'm going to teach about live streaming, and I haven't. Because the things that, there's no way that I can teach certain things minus including the very same things that we are selling. So that course is going to come next month, but I'm going to teach it now. I'm going to sample the whole course. I'm going to teach it just for 200. That course, when it launch, it's a big course. I taught how to do live streaming for weddings, live streaming for funerals, live streaming church services, live streaming organizations, live streaming podcasts, live streaming, all those stuff, explaining to you everything that you need. So we're going to have that next week on Tuesday. Attendance is strictly by registration, because that is not free information. We're going to sell that course. Another student of mine was complaining yesterday saying, why are you teaching the same things that you are selling, that us we bought, but you are teaching them for free? So I thought, okay, to make it a little bit premium, let them just pay a little bit of some money, like 200, then we're going to have that masterclass. Details, you'll find them in the page tomorrow. And this one for editing, we're going to finish it on Saturday, right? This one is free, it's going to be free, but the paid one is not going to be even on Facebook. It's going to be on Zoom. You're going to get a special invite link, attend, ask any questions. I'll be there, I'll be answering. All right. So in case you have any questions, you can let me know. I see another person here was asking which one are the payment, where do we make payment and stuff for the live master class. All right, so I'm gonna add the payment system. I'm gonna add, you can pay through PayPal. Even those people who wants to enroll on my online class, you can pay, enroll through PayPal. You can use Mukuru. You can use direct deposit. Our banking details are there. You can use Airtel Money. You can request for the number. I'll send it to you. You can use instant EFT. So those are the payment options that you have there if you want to attend one of those stuff. Where do I register for the live stream class? You're going to get on this page, there is our official number, our official WhatsApp number. So if you want to attend that class, just WhatsApp the number that you're going to see on this page. Just WhatsApp, it's just 200, because I'm going to teach the very same things that are coming in the course. So you are lucky. I'm going to teach it live like this, but it's going to be on the Zoom privately. And then after the class, we're going to come live and then discuss a few other things live with other people, but not teaching. All right. Okay. So make a date. Saturday, we're going to finish this class. And then Tuesday, we're going to do live streaming. I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited. And then we're going to continue having different types, because this one we have just started, video editing. There's so many stuff that I'm planning to teach, like how to edit video, music videos, how to edit wedding videos. So now at least you know the properties of videos, you know softwares, you know computer specs. Those are out of the way. Now we're going to start editing. I'll just get a fresh video and I'll edit it live. You guys, you'll see how I edit, how I add effects, how I do color grading from beginning to the end. You know, it's easier. It's easier and faster. Maybe in 1 hour. I edit the whole music video, maybe in 2 hours I'm done. So maybe we just do 1 hour, 30 minutes live, done the whole video. You can see, oh, this is how it is done. You know, it's going to be amazing. So please, for us who are already paid for the course, do we need to pay for live stream masterclass? Yes, masterclass you have to pay because it's a different program from the course. The live streaming class is not even, nobody has paid for it. Right, nobody has paid for it. The only courses that are available now are only 5. The live streaming was reserved because it is big. That course is big. Everything, you can even get to create your own channel, your own TV, internet channel. There's so much stuff that we have put together for live streaming alone. So that course, just be on the lookout. Okay, which player do you use to preview GH5 RAW clips? I'm struggling to see even the thumbnail of the RAW clips. So you need to install QuickTime in your computer. Just install QuickTime and also install a player called Classic Player. Those are the 2 things that I use, right? Or maybe your computer is too small. Then you need maybe to do some upgrade, but just install QuickTime Player and also Classic Player. Okay, so Mr. Elijah is asking, are we going to receive a certificate too? On the live stream, you're not going to receive a certificate. It's knowledge-based. You just get the experience that I have for live streaming. But if you're going to get through my website, my online class, there, after you finish the class, you will get the certificate. So the reason why I even like stopped with the live, the workshops, the reason why we postponed it is we wanted our certificates not to just be those certificates you get from online classes, but I wanted a certain body to back my certificate so that once you get it, at least you can apply for a job and it is recognized. So that thing, it is in the process. Maybe by the God's grace, this month end it will be out. Then all the people that have gotten certificates for me, those certificates will be valid, will be validated and backed up by a body, which is the sweetest thing. So yeah, you get the certificate at the end of the class. All right, I can see Angelo Pote says the cinematography ninja, Zambia is on fire. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for everybody who tuned in today. We're going to continue the video editing masterclass on Saturday. And then on Tuesday, we're going to do the live streaming one, which is paid. All right. I'm going to see you guys. If you have any questions, you can just leave them on the live stream itself. Otherwise, I'm going to see you next Saturday. Yeah, in a few days, I'm going to see you. Otherwise, you guys have a good night. It's been long.